You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
It is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit in current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and first-timer on Ron Siegel Radio. Kevin Brunner is with us, the Q Companies. Welcome.
Good morning.
Glad to have you with us. Hey, let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. There's some interesting celebrations today. This one's, I don't know, I can tell why Josh didn't put this in our rundown today. It's got obsolete National Newspaper Carrier Day. Now, are there even newspapers out there? When I was a kid, the newspaper, first off, it had news. It wasn't propaganda. We had the National Enquirer. Now it's the LA Times Enquirer, I guess. The Orange County Register, well, that one's gone. Maybe it is still around. I don't, but here's the thing. Sunday mornings, you used to look at the Sunday paper and it was 3 inches thick and heavy. And, you could use, when you finished with it, you could use it for kindling, go out to the beach for a fire, on a fire. Now they fold it in half. I mean, they couldn't fold that thing if they tried to. So Newspaper Carrier Day. Yeah, well, okay, all we can say on that one.
It is what it is.
National Spice Blend Day. Now, I thought they were talking about that thing at Starbucks that comes out way too soon. But no, Spice Blend. So if you do watch TikTok, Danos. Do you ever get any of those Danos spices? I like them. Not a lot of salt in them, a lot of flavor. Although the guy likes to cook everything spicy, and I'm a wimp. So I like spices, but not the heat. And finally, it's National Macadamia Nut Day. Now, that one is one I can get behind, especially if I can go to Hawaii and get them firsthand. Chocolate covered, of course. These have the shells and all that other stuff. That's work. Or, the other thing that's good with macadamia nuts, mahi crusted in macadamia nut. Then that's good stuff. Now I'm going to throw it out there because that I've been on this weight loss journey, and we had a very fascinating guest that was educating us on the world of peptides. If you missed that broadcast, when was that? I think it was Tuesday. We did that one. If you missed that broadcast, boy, did you miss a lot. He gave us a lot of great information. Sleep is one of my problems, so there's a peptide for that. There's for those people that have in vitro problems. Okay, there's some peptides that'll help in that. And they're amino acids. So we're not giving medical advice. Do your own research. But something? You got to do your own research when you get the pills from your doctor too, because there's a lot of questionable stuff there. Hey, let's move right along and see what's going on in the world today. And we're going to talk about it. Another disappointing number coming out of ADP, and that's going to lead us into the jobs report for tomorrow.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, I got a bad feeling. Now, the problem is the jobs report is always erroneous, if I can use a good word for that one. So ADP, I don't know why ADP doesn't get the respect I think it deserves. Probably because it's accurate and they're using real data. They're not imputing data. It doesn't come from the government. Maybe that's where the problem is, but ADP numbers not looking good. But when the ADP number doesn't look good, you know what does look good? We're looking at the 10-year treasury. I guess if you're a senior citizen, that's not looking good either. But, you know, the ADP numbers looking is the 10-year treasury, I should say, is down almost 4 basis points right now as we speak. So that yield is at 4.181, which means the mortgage bond, that mortgage bond is up 16 basis points. When that bond goes up, mortgage rates are going down, and we like to see mortgage rates going down because then you can buy more houses, or you can buy that bigger house, sell that house. You can set the right strategy. Maybe you want to get rid of some debt and consolidate it, because over the last 3-4 years, if you bought a house in 2022, you've got a lot of equity in there, and you can get a home loan probably 6-7%, maybe less, especially for those of you who are veterans. Thank you for your service. We just helped a veteran, and I love helping veterans, 5.99%. And it's what they call an IRL, interest rate reduction refinance loan. You got to remember to get that extra R in there. But that was at 5.99% for him, and basically coming out of pocket with nothing. That's just his scenario. I don't know what your scenario is, but hopefully we'll see some better numbers coming out tomorrow. We are looking also at what else is going on in the world. We've got the S&P 500 is going up 27. Now, the thing that we're always watching, though, is, and it makes us all ill, but we do watch gas prices because we are in the formerly golden state, and we see where the gas prices are in the formerly golden state. Do we want to even look at gas prices? Because, well, we got to do it just because we can. Gas prices, $3.20 a gallon. Not in California. We're at $4.60 is our statewide average. Josh is over there laughing at us because he's probably around $3.40 a gallon. He's in the top 10. Is it higher than that, Josh? $3.50? Whoa, $3.60 there? What, it's a bunch of Californians moved there? $3.60, $3.70? You guys are trying to follow us in California. I know the average for the state is $3.80, so a lot better than we are at $4.60. I might go to Hawaii to get gas. It's $4.47 over there. A lot cheaper than we are in California, and they don't even produce the stuff. So, you watch that, but oil prices down 44 cents a barrel. I wonder, maybe it's got to do with maybe we're not going to see as much Venezuelan oil coming in. Did you happen to watch what happened to some Venezuelans yesterday? Yeah, there's finally got a president who's willing to take a stand, and there's 11 less gang members coming out of Venezuela right now, bringing narcotics to California. Yes, our Marines took care of that for us. We don't have to worry about them, and we don't have to worry about, just my opinion here, we don't have to worry about any activist judges saying that we've got to let them go free. Well, I think there's some sharks that are dealing with that problem for us right now. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your current events, financial markets. Now, we're going to talk today about one of my favorite subjects, disinheriting the IRS. Yeah, I like that one. And finding ways to legally minimize your taxes. What mortgage delinquencies tell us about the future of foreclosures, teaching kids about money, all that and more. Reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564. Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less? All without having to spend more each month than you spend right now. Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by rsrlinks.com/mobile app. rsrlinks.com/mobile app. And we've got a new tool for you today. We haven't even, this one's just rolling out hot off the press. rsrlinks.com/rate update. rsrlinks.com/rate update. And what we're going to do there is we're going to watch your mortgage rate for you and see if we can save you some money. Remember, strategy beats rate always. Strategy beats rate always. And every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. They don't tell us points paid, points received, or the APR. They tell us the number you need to put in your mortgage calculator to find out what your principal and interest payment will be. And this is one of the times that I really like seeing a lot of red down arrows on our charts. Usually it's green arrows are the good thing when you're talking in the world of finance. And when we're talking about mortgage rates, the red down arrow is the one we like. Every one of them are down today or yesterday. Conventional 30-year fix down 6.484. Jumbo 30-year fix 6.678. FHA 30-year fixed, 6.249. VA 30-year fixed, 6.037. USDA 30-year fixed, 6.214. Every one of them was down, and that's just the way we like it. If you want our thoughts about the market, we put that out there for you as well. You got to just go and register, and it's free. It doesn't cost you a nickel, but you're just going to go over there to rsrlinks.com/HBOD. rsrlinks.com/HBOD. So what are the markets doing today? Well, we've got the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 227 points. The NASDAQ is up 81.5. The S&P 500 is up 28. Oil down 49 cents per barrel. We've got the 10-year Treasury. That one's still moving the way we want to see it. It's down about about 4 basis points. And we've got the mortgage bond now. It is up 18 basis points. Now, if you listened to us yesterday and you heard all that great information from Greg Reed about AI and prompting and all that, well, you know that you can find all those numbers on that super secret website, google.com, or you can go to ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, all of them. But what they don't tell you is why all these things are happening. Well, one of the biggies, and let me know if you hear this anywhere other than on Ron Siegel Radio. So the Federal Reserve has something called the Beige Book, and it's an update on the 12 Federal Reserve districts from their business contacts, even though they don't believe the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The Beige Book was one of the weakest in a long time, showing weak growth and flatline job conditions. 11 of the 12 districts said there was little to no job growth. Are you listening to that, Jerome Powell?
Such an idiot. Such an idiot.
He probably is not listening to it because he's got his own agenda. 11 of the 12 districts said there's little to no job growth, while one said there was contraction, meaning they were losing jobs. There were reports of higher inflation, but the Fed is expecting that in the short run due to tariffs, but they don't believe it will be long-lived. Stephen Moran's Senate confirmation hearing begins this morning. If he's approved, he will be a voting member at the September 17th Fed meeting. Later today, New York Fed President John Williams, Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee will be speaking. Not too long ago, both have said the labor market is solid. And I'm going to just tell you that
You know better than that.
yeah, it's not solid. Listen to Danielle DiMartino Booth. She used to work at the Federal Reserve in Dallas for 9 years. She's telling us also how weak the job market is, especially in the area of construction. Leisure and hospitality was the strongest sector once again, added 50,000 jobs. I missed part of this. We got the ADP jobs report came out this morning. Only 54,000 jobs gained, weaker than the 75,000 expected. I wonder what they're going to say tomorrow when they give us the private sector employment. They call it the birth-death rate. Last month, if you remember, when the ADP said there was 74,000, the birth-death rate was over 100,000.
Such an idiot.
Yeah, unbelievable. Average job growth over the last 3 months now stands at 46,000, down from 62,000 over the last 6 months, and 120,000 over the last year. Not good numbers. Looking at wages, job stayers, those who remained at their jobs, had their pay increased at 4.4% on an annual basis, down from 4.5% in the previous report. The current level of 4.4% is the lowest level since June of 2021. Job changers, or those finding a new job getting poached by competition, saw an increase of 7.1%. Nella Richardson from ADP spoke on CNBC and said workers are now working 2 hours less per week compared to before the pandemic. She explained that employers could be cutting hours to save on costs instead of firing someone, something that could keep initial jobless claims low. And by the way, initial jobless claims rose 8,000 to 237,000 jobs. So we do have that big jobs report tomorrow. I'm going to tell you right here, right now, you can hear it from us first. If we get a legitimate report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and that's a big, big if, and it's not going to be good numbers, and we're going to see more negative revisions. They're only expecting 75,000 jobs to be gained. And they're looking at the unemployment rate to go from 4.2 to 4.3%. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Stay tuned. And yes, I will be putting a report, rsrlinks.com/HBOD. I'll get all that data out there to you as early as that data does allow. rsrlinks.com/HBOD. Oh, there it is. Okay. That's the Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends, rsrlinks.com/mobile app, rsrlinks.com/mobile app. So one of my favorite topics is how do we legally minimize taxes? And if you do remember, I shared with you that a quotation from a friend of mine, and I've adopted it as my own. So yes, Eric, I am going to say that it's from you, but we do have one tax code in the United States, but there are two tax systems. One is for the informed and one is for the uninformed. Unfortunately, about 83% of the people follow the uninformed system. If you're a listener of Ron Siegel Radio, we hope to inform you. And no, I am not the guru. I am learning. Kevin Brunner is with us. He's with the Q companies. He's the guru. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning.
So what do you think? My tax two systems, do you agree with me there?
I agree with you. If you're a W-2 wage earner and you got a fixed salary and stuff, there are some things you can do to get your taxes down. It's when you're self-employed or a real estate investor and things like that, or you own a business, that opens up a whole bunch of other options for you.
You know, it's interesting because, for the longest time, and I'm just guessing, Kevin, that you're not as old as me, but you're old. I mean, you're not a spring chicken.
No.
But do you remember the days of going to a party and all of a sudden somebody brings out the Amway board?
Oh. Or
Right?
the guy that invites you to coffee and you get there and find out he's just recruiting you to Amway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know something? That counts as a self-employed business, right?
It does. It does. And it makes all that deductible.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit because we do home and finance. We do a lot of different things.
Yeah.
But I hear folks right now that are saying, especially in California, they've built up. A friend of mine's he's got his home is worth about $2 million now. He's owned it for about 30 some years. And he said he can't move.
Can't afford to move.
Can't afford to move.
Yeah.
Capital gains are going to kill him.
Yeah.
Are there options?
There are.
Okay, so let's talk about what some of his options might be.
One of the simplest is something called an installment sale trust. You sell the property to an installment sale trust. You take a note back against the trust that collateralizes the trust. There has to be a trustee. There's some boxes you got to tick. You take an income stream and then you downsize and move. And instead of paying that money in taxes, it stays invested, generating an income stream to you in retirement.
So I love the idea of the deferred sales trust.
No,
Installment trust.
Installment sale trust.
Installment sale trust.
Installment sale trust.
I get the terms wrong. See, I'm not the guru.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
So the installment sale trust. So he's going to sell his $2 million property
To the trust.
Yep. Does he can still control it?
He has control because he has control of the collateral. The trust is his collateral. So he has arm's length control.
Okay.
If he controlled it completely, the IRS would call that constructive receipt. We're going to get kind of technical here. That you lose the tax deferral if you do that. And there's some other programs out there that don't quite follow the rules. The installment sale trust program was really started by Ernst & Young.
Okay.
About 1970. The two tax attorneys that taught me how to do it in 2004 would argue about which year. They did it so their own partners could exit and defer the tax on the partnership when they exited, rather than getting that big tax hit all at once and take an income stream and leave the money invested. Then they started offering it to clients. They started offering it to business owners that were selling. Most of our transactions are small business owners that when they go to sell for $5 million, they're in California, they're going to lose $2 million to taxes, federal and state combined.
Sure.
He says, well, shit, I can't afford to sell. I'm stuck. Well, what's he going to do? Right.
Right.
Well, he sells it to the trust. It gets an income stream, and he gets an income stream on the entire amount. And he only pays tax on the income as it comes in.
Now, how is he getting an income stream? Is he investing in something?
Yeah, the money gets invested in the trust, and you direct what you're willing to accept as collateral for your note. You have to use the right terminology.
Okay.
And now you can't, trade stocks daily in the account. That would be you managing the account, right?
But could I hire somebody to do that?
Well, we have in-house people that do that.
Oh, okay.
You tell us which program you want, and that's the program the trustee follows.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, the question then becomes, because, obviously leading a lending team, how do we go buy that new house? So let's talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564. Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. What mortgage delinquencies tell us about the future of foreclosures? You may be seeing headlines about how foreclosures are rising, and if that makes you nervous that we're headed for another crash, here's what you should know. According to Adam, a research company, during the housing crash, over 9 million people went through some sort of distressed sale. That'd be 2007 to 2011. Last year, there were just 300,000. So even with the increase lately, we're talking about numbers that are dramatically lower, but what does the future hold? Is a wave coming? The short answer is no. Here's why. Experts in the industry look at mortgage delinquencies, loans that are more than 30 days past due, as an early sign for potential foreclosures down the line. And the latest data for delinquencies is reassuring about the market overall. Right now, delinquencies as a whole are consistent with where we ended last year, which means we're not seeing the kind of increases that would signal widespread trouble. But there are some key indicators to continue to watch. Marina Walsh, Vice President of Industry Analysis at the Mortgage Bankers Association, explains, quote, while overall mortgage delinquencies are relatively flat compared to last year, the composition has changed. Right now, borrowers with FHA mortgages currently make up the biggest share of new delinquencies. If you're watching us on ronsiegelradio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 FM 98.1 video feed, you are seeing a chart of quarterly new delinquencies have risen among FHA mortgages, but remain low and stable for other types. And here's why that may be happening. Borrowers with FHA mortgages may be more sensitive to shifts in the economy, and with recession fears, stubborn inflation, employment challenges, and more, it makes sense this segment of the market may be feeling it a bit more. But that doesn't mean it's a signal a crash is coming. If you look back at the graph, it shows while there are more FHA loans experiencing hardship than the norm, delinquency rates for other types of loans remain low and stable. Back during the crash, delinquency rates were significantly elevated for all four categories. That means the broader market is on much stronger footing than it was back in 2008, as Resi Club says. Quote, the recent uptick in mortgage delinquency seems to be concentrated among FHA borrowers. However, mortgage performance remains very solid when viewed in light of the 20-year history of our data, unquote. The region with the most FHA loans, here's another reason this isn't a signal of trouble ahead. FHA loans only make up about 12% of all loans nationwide. But like anything else in housing, local data matters. There are some regions of the country where there are more of this type of loan than others, particularly in the South. The map that we're showing now shows how many FHA loans are delinquent. It shows just the overall concentration of FHA loans by state, so you can see which regions have the greatest volume. How do we stand in California? 7% compared to 12.3 nationwide. Not too bad. As the Federal Reserve Bank of New York explains, quote, looking at the geographic concentration of loans, recent data indicate that a higher proportion of mortgage balances are delinquent in many of the southern states. We see the higher delinquency rates can coincide with a higher share of FHA loans across states, quote unquote. Just remember, even the delinquency rates we're seeing now aren't as high as they were in 2008. Again, this is not a signal of a crisis, but it is something experts will monitor in the months ahead. If you're experiencing financial hardship, no one wants to see anyone face the challenges of foreclosure, but just know that if you're a homeowner struggling with payments, you're not alone, and you do have options. The first step is reaching out to your mortgage provider. In many cases, you may be able to set up a repayment plan or explore loan modifications to help you stay on track. And for many homeowners today, you may also have enough equity to sell your house and avoid foreclosure. Odds are, at least some of these delinquencies will go that route. Since homeowners today have near record amounts of equity in their homes, it may be worth seeing if that could be an option for you too. Want to take a look? It's real simple. rsrlinks.com/Sora. rsrlinks.com/Sora. It's 30-second little mini app. Again, it only takes you 30 seconds, and we can take a look for you. Foreclosures are rising slightly, but they're nowhere near the levels of 2008, and delinquency trends don't point toward a crash ahead. This is something industry professionals are going to watch in the days ahead. If you want to stay up to date, give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And that's the real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Continuing our conversation, how we can legally delay our taxes, maybe not let Uncle Sam have any more than he's entitled to right away. And again, all doing it because of understanding, being informed as to the tax code. And we are speaking this morning. Kevin Brunner's with us. Now, Kevin, you said, if I'm not mistaken, that this installment sale trust was the early 70s?
It started in 1970, 71 at Ernst & Young.
So it's not like it's something new.
No. It's sometimes called a special purpose trust.
Oh, okay.
When it's used in like a mergers and acquisition transaction. So the people that are exiting the M&A deal, their equity lands in one of these trusts, and it's all tax deferred until the income comes out. So it's a common practice. It's used as far.
And what if I die before the income comes out?
Well, then it goes to your heirs. You have.
Oh, okay. So it goes. So my ownership in the trust. Then we're not giving legal advice here. Goes into my family trust. Is that it?
It can.
Okay.
It's very flexible how you want to handle it, but at a minimum, the way we structure the note receives what's called a step up in basis on your passing.
Ah, okay.
So in the case of real estate, very often people want to hold on to it to the day they die because they want to make sure they get that step up in basis to their heirs. Well, the note receives the same step up in basis to the heirs. So you're not giving that away. So let's say you have an apartment building and you're kind of tired of being a landlord. Maybe you're 70, you want to travel more.
What do they call it? Toilets and trash?
Yeah, trash, toilets, and tenants.
Yeah.
So, and bounce checks. So, you can sell it to the trust. The trust resells it to whoever the new owner is. The money comes into the trust. You take an income stream that is generally, is usually significantly more than your net rents were.
Okay.
The assets in the trust still appreciate just as well as the building would have. You get an income stream. When you pass, the note against the trust receives a step up in basis.
Ah, okay.
So you're not giving that away either.
So is the note a fixed amount or is that variable?
It's variable. It has a fixed interest rate for the payout, but the variable is the upside of the investments in the trust. You participate in that.
Ah, okay.
And by having that variable in the note makes the note technically a security. Securities receive a step up in basis at passing. And I have to pound my head on the desk all the time explaining this to a CPA because they keep saying income in respect to decedent. No, not in this case.
Interesting.
So our program was actually approved by the IRS as an alternative to a 1031 exchange. We have a 1031 exchange accommodation service.
Okay.
I got tired of using some of the ones out there and arguing with them all the time. So we just set up our own, and the IRS approved us in 4 months to include the installment sale trust in the documents as an option.
Interesting.
So if you are thinking of doing a 1031, we have a guaranteed 1031. If you don't identify a property and close on time, doesn't matter. The money goes from the accommodator into your trust. And now you have as much time as you need to go find the next property.
So why would somebody want a 1031 then?
1031 is fine. 1031 is a good way to go from one investment property to the next. But if you do it with us, because it has to be in the documents that are approved by the IRS, other companies don't have it in their documents. Because they want you to go buy a DST because they get a backdoor commission on it.
Ah, okay.
So, yeah. Yeah. So
now, can I live in the? Can I? If this installment trust, buys a single family residence, can I rent it from the trust?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
But you'd have to pay fair market rent.
Okay, that's fair.
But if the income from the trust is $6,000 a month off all the assets that are in there, and the rent is $3,300 a month, you understand?
Sure.
Why not? Now, so I do this with senior citizens. They want to downsize. So they got some house in Newport Beach and they bought it in 1975 for $200,000.
Sure.
When they made $500,000 in improvements over the years, but now the thing's worth $5 million.
Right.
Okay. How do they downsize without getting a big hit on the capital gains on that? They call us. Now they can downsize, get an income stream. We have to design the transaction. There are some boxes you got to check. I don't want to go into all that right here. But that's what we do. We help you comply with all those things to make sure you can do that. So now you convert that big property that you kind of don't want to deal with anymore. It's 2 stories. And
sure.
For
whatever reason you want to right size.
Yeah. Yeah. So you want to get a single story condo in a senior complex, and that way you can go to the kids' house for Thanksgiving and dirty their dishes. Right.
Now, if I sell that to the trust, does my property tax basis go with it to the trust, or does it get reassessed, or is that too technical?
Well, no, because you're going to sell it to the trust. The trust is going to resell it to the final buyer.
Oh, okay.
Which isn't the trust.
Gotcha.
The cash at close of escrow comes into the trust and gets invested.
Okay.
Now, this gives you a couple of things. It gives you an income stream. There's a lot of guarantees involved. You can choose which program you want, which investments you want, how much security you want. And you can defer the tax on all of it. So, and you have liquidity. So let's say 8 years from now, dad's in a home. He's doing really well. Doesn't know what day of the week it is, but it's $18,000 a month.
Which is not outrageous, which is not abnormal. I mean,
no,
it's a lot of money, but it's not abnormal.
Alzheimer's care,
right.
It's not. My mom's at home right now. It's not cheap.
Right.
All right. So
I have some friends that the parents went into a home in Newport Beach right over by Hogue. And I think it's like $20,000 a month. It's expensive.
So now you have liquidity from the trust to take care of that.
Yeah.
Where the property...
And you didn't give the money to Uncle Sam.
You didn't give it to Uncle Sam. You got an income stream on it. It's been growing. Now you have liquidity for that emergency, where the real estate is a wonderful investment, but it's an illiquid investment.
Sure.
It's very difficult and expensive to get liquidity in real estate.
Right.
Right. So we're not knocking real estate. Just there comes a point in your life that maybe that's not the best place to be.
Or from what I understand, now can't the trust invest in real estate?
Of course.
So, and then when the trust buys and sells, does the trust pay taxes on it when it buys and sells?
No, it's all tax deferred until the money comes out.
Ah, okay. So even with it, so it's another informed way of dealing with the tax code. We're going to continue our conversation. I've got a million questions and we don't have a lot of time, but we're going to talk more with Kevin when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you missed any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564, complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564. Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the first Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ. and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
We're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. So as usual, I speak a lot, and we don't have time to get into our Borrow Smart segment. So I will tell you that Borrow Smart is being brought to you by GetHomeSelect.com. GetHomeSelect.com. Borrow smart, repay smart, and minimize the portion that goes to Uncle Sam and Uncle Gavin. Because, you know something? It's your money. You worked for it. Now, just because there's a lot of people, and I'm going to say this because I can, there's a lot of great CPAs out there, but they're reporters, right? And sometimes the reporters don't have every answer, but they do a great job of reporting. We want to make sure that you're getting some great information to take to the reporter and let them get that information. That's the Borrow Smart segment brought to you by GetHomeSelect.com, GetHomeSelect.com. So I am going to say to you, and I'm going to tell you right now, I am not a CPA. Kevin, are you a CPA?
Nope.
Okay, so Kevin's not a CPA either. So we're not CPAs. I'm not an attorney. You're an attorney?
Nope.
Okay. Not giving legal advice, not giving CPA advice. We're giving education here. Now, when we educate you, we don't have time in a 56-minute broadcast to give you every last detail that goes into all of these things that we're talking about. The beauty is Kevin and his team do know all the details. They might even know some CPAs that have been educated on all the details if yours needs to consult with somebody, or I'm sure they'll work with your CPA as long as they're open to understanding what we're talking about here. But the bottom line is you got to make sure that we want you to have the education so that you can be informed. Now, if you make the decision, I've had some people that have come to me and said, hey, Ron, I don't want to do some of these things, even though they're totally legal. I want to pay taxes. Hey, God bless. Something, we need more roads and bridges and more studies in Africa to figure out if a monkey is really going to jump to a banana. I mean, we need those studies, I guess. And if you want to be the one funding them, so be it. But I bet that you could find a local charity. And Kevin, I'm going to say thank you to you, because I know that in reading your bio that it's because of people like you that I get to have conversations, people that served in the military and gave us our freedom and protect our freedom. So thank you.
Thank you.
Go and you can do whatever you want, but give to a veterans organization instead of Uncle Sam. That's just my opinion. And I'm right. So let's get back to our conversation about these trusts. And so if I want to buy it, I put my money into my house into the trust.
Yeah.
And the trust now has a liquidity once it's sold, or however that's being dealt with for you guys. But I need a place to live. I like living indoors.
Couple of ways of handling that. So each situation a little bit different. Maybe you will rent a place, and if the trust is sending you $6,000 a month and the rent is $3,000 a month, you just keep the spread. So you're covered. And that was $6,000 a month income you didn't have before you did this transaction. So now you have liquidity. Now you have some extra income, and maybe you'll rent. Or maybe the trust will buy the next property, also have liquidity because the next property is less expensive than the other. In that case, though, to make sure it's not considered constructive receipt of trust assets, so then you have to pay taxes, you have to pay fair market rent back to the trust. But who are you paying? Yourself. So there is a way to go about that. And there's a few CPAs out there right now having an aneurysm. There are details of how to do this and make it qualify and make it okay. For example, I co-authored a book called How to Beat the IRS Legally. And I co-authored a second book called Just Say No to Bad Advice. And the second edition of that book comes out in 2 weeks.
Got to get those. Are they on Audible? Because I can't read.
Yeah. It'll be on Audible. It won't be on Audible for a couple of months. But it'll be on Amazon in about 2 weeks. It'll be in Barnes and Noble about 2 weeks after that. So there was a delay. It'll be out in about 2 weeks, the second edition. We went in and rewrote whole sections in there. But I generally send a copy of the book to your CPA, and then I call him about 10, 12 days later, and he's usually asking me questions. I'm thinking, well, that was on page 12. Well, that was on page 16, because they don't read it because they already know everything, right?
Right.
So there's a lot of people out there that, honestly, you've outgrown your CPA. You need somebody that's doing more than a software jockey filling in TurboTax or whatever, Lacert, whatever they're using, that actually does planning in advance to make arrangements for the effective tax rate. I'm hoping every one of you is in the highest marginal tax rate. Your effective tax rate is what you paid after all of your deductions. So if you plan ahead with some good advice, you can make that number really low, like 10%, 8%, sometimes 0%.
Yeah, I know some areas where, if you get in, and I'm assuming that, if I've got the installment trust, and I'm getting income from the installment trust.
Yeah.
But I also have other write-offs.
Yep.
My income can end up, my write-offs can bring me down to where I'm paying next to no taxes.
Yep.
So I've effectively taken that capital gain and the income from it and written it off over time.
Yeah.
Right. So I can have a lot of business expenses. I can get a accelerated depreciation expenses that are available now.
Yeah.
All the things that
Some
are
of those just improved.
right. And
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you had to change that in your book.
No, it got missed, but we don't go into the specifics of that. We talk at the 10,000 foot level.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, that's the way we want it. That way people know. We're not saying that you need professionals. You just need educated professionals.
We're not even anti-tax. I like having police and fire and roads and schools
Sure.
and stuff like that. I'm anti-waste. And let's face it, if we starved them a little bit, we'd force them into submission and managing their budget a little bit better, right?
Absolutely. Because the things that need to get done are going to still get done. And
I tell my clients all the time, I just saved you $250,000. Can you take 25 of that and go to a church, go to a charity, go to a veterans thing? How about Frank Shankowitz, the founder of Make-A-Wish Foundation?
Another one of our guests.
Frank was on here with you?
Several times.
I miss him so much.
Yes.
He was such a good man.
In fact, the man that produced his movie,
Greg Reed,
was on yesterday.
You just told me that a minute ago. Greg Reed and I've been close personal friends since, 2008, 9. I didn't know he was on here.
Yeah.
And Craig Redler's one of my trustees. He was on here talking about asset protection.
Yep.
He's one of our trustees at our firm.
Small world.
It is a small world. Yeah.
So great folks.
It's about planning. So if you have that rental property and you just don't want to be a landlord anymore, you need liquidity. Or maybe you're getting to that point in life that you want to have the income, but you want to have liquidity in case, the Alzheimer's, dementia, whatever else happens. Or maybe you just want to do that cruise around the world where you live on the boat for a year. And there you go.
Absolutely. And again, so I agree with you. We want all of those, the amenities that we get from living in the United States.
Yeah.
Right. But I agree with you. I mean, that there's several nonprofit organizations that come on here, and we love supporting every one of them.
Yeah.
Because generally especially the smaller ones, they're going to be much more astute and caring about where that money's going to.
Exactly.
Right. So as opposed to a federal government that's got a Department of Education with 7 million administrators and 4 million teachers.
I was a defense contractor for a long time. It's one of my previous careers. I could hire one employee at $20 an hour with a 401k plan and a health plan, and that would replace 2 civil service people costing about $120,000 a year. I'm not kidding. That's how we did it. This general cornered me and says, how are you doing this under budget so far? My people show up and work.
What a surprise.
So don't overpay your taxes. If you've outgrown your CPA, call us. Have a plan. Talk about these things. Work with us. We'll give you the books. We'll give you the materials. We'll give you everything to know that you've just outgrown your CPA and he just isn't going to do it. All right. The other thing is we don't try to avoid audits. An audit costs about $5,000 to represent and win, because we will win. If our people did your tax return, you will win the audit. The tax return's insured. The insurance pays the penalties and interest if you lose. It pays for representation. So I'm not going to have you overpay your taxes by $40,000 a year to avoid a $5,000 audit that you only have a 3% chance of even getting. So it does not make financial sense to ever not take every possible strategy or deduction.
Sure.
Now, the reason those things are in the tax code is they want you to keep that money and reinvest it in the economy.
Absolutely.
You're not putting it in your mattress.
You're going to do something with it.
You're putting it in stock. You're putting it in real estate. You're investing it somewhere.
Amazing stuff. If you think you're overpaying in taxes, if you want to find some alternative solutions, alternative strategies, give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. I'd be happy to put you in touch with Kevin and his company, the Q Companies. And you can see it scrolling on the screen if you're watching us on any of our socials as well. But Kevin, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we look forward to helping people be informed taxpayers instead of the uninformed who are paying way too much in taxes. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean for engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.